2, 1. Here we go.
Calling Ovais.
Calling Ovais. Yes, we are. And we're calling. And we're calling.
Sprinkler!
Hello?
Is this Ovais?
This is.
Ovais, how are you? This is Paul, Outsider Tackle Box radio show and podcast. I have my good buddy Tommy in the studio with us. Say hi,
Hey,
Tommy.
what's going on, Ovais? How you been, bud?
Good. How you guys doing? Nice to hear from you.
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm stuck next to this fool next to me, but you know, it's a decent morning.
I'm so happy to have you on the
Right.
show. I have been looking forward to this call just because I have listened to some of your work.
Yeah.
And when Tommy found out you were going to be on the show, he has been practicing his audition voice.
Oh,
And he wants to do...
Oh.
no,
very nice.
I wasn't doing my own.
He wants to do...
I was
Go ahead
more-
and do your...
I'm horrible.
Just do it because you've been doing it this whole time.
I'm sure he
So
was
for
listening to
everybody
the
who
show.
listened in the podcast, Ovais contacted us when we first started.
Yeah.
And so
He
it's
wanted
been
to do some
almost 2 years
videos.
in July, but Ovais contacted us and loves to fish.
Yep.
And was working on a documentary that
he
he's
was working
presenting
on
to
it.
people, and we sent him a bunch of gear, and we haven't gone fishing with him, so
No,
that's on us. But
we
he's
need
so
to.
close. And we saw the fish that he just caught, and I was like, why haven't we gone with Ovais and try to fish
I
some
agree.
of the local lakes? So
I
we just
agree.
started meeting people locally and driving out. We've been out with some local fishing group who has a
Yep.
fishing school,
Yep.
and they joined us into their fishing group,
Yep.
and so we're going to start doing more stuff with them. But we love going out with anglers. Chris Koenig is a local fisherman. He's been trying to go out with us. We just met him last weekend, so hopefully
We had a great time too. Yeah.
I know that your schedule is probably packed with things, but if you ever get out, just we're about 45 minutes away from
Shoot us a call.
from where you are. We'd love to fish with you.
Oh yeah, man, that would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, don't expect much. You're not going to get much out of these two, but you know.
Tommy's probably gonna audition his
I
voice.
always set the bar pretty low, so it's okay.
It's kind of hard to set the bar lower than Paul.
Yeah. And don't be surprised.
I'll be honest with you. So when we show up, it's like the fish. You get the memo, and they're like, "Oh, they brought that Paul guy." Everybody, don't bite.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have a hard time catching fish.
Yeah.
But I think if you're around,
Oh.
Tommy is going to be auditioning every 5 minutes. His
I
voice
just do
is going
stupid
to
voices.
is
That's
going
my
to be
fault.
like, "Hello, this is Tommy from Outsider Tackle Box." Like he's just gonna. Like,
I
how do I sound? Do you think I could
just do
work?
stupid voices, like my like my Irish accent and stuff like that. I just totally biff it every single time. It's just
You're
for
pretty
fun.
good at it.
Yeah.
I think so. Tommy's being shy, but because he changes his voice all the time, and so you're a voiceover. And I did listen to your work, so
yeah, he's got
we're
some good
fans, and we're glad that you send in photos to us.
Absolutely.
Here at Outsider Tackle Box.
Not just photos. I mean, he's got some huge lunkers on these photos.
Yes,
dude.
the
Like,
idea
these-
behind the radio show and podcast is to spread happiness to the world through the joys of fishing, and we feel like fish photos do just that. So thanks for being a good sport about sending us in some photos. You just caught and look. You mentioned that these are your first catches of the year. So the format is to just let us know where you caught the fish, the bait that you were using, and the size if you were able to measure it in any way.
And if you don't want to tell us exactly where you were fishing, you can make it up. Paul ain't gonna know no different, and he ain't gonna catch anything anyway. So.
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for the opportunity of having me on your show. I'm a huge fan of yours. You guys have been super gracious and very, very welcoming, and I appreciated you guys sending me out the stuff to try out. And as far as those fish went, those two, the first one that was. I think I was wearing the Outsider Tackle Box hat in.
Yeah,
that one was just about, it was 7 pounds, and that was my first bass of the year.
Wow,
Nice.
That one,
big one.
I caught it on my second cast. It was crazy.
Wow.
I caught it on a drop shot actually, which is a surprise because you usually don't catch humongous fish like that on drop shots.
No,
but you know, that's fishing. It happens sometimes, and I actually caught that out in a place called Hanson Dam, which is in like the Pacoima area.
Okay. Yeah.
And so that was gosh, that was I thought I had because they have carp in the water, and that was my first time ever fishing there. So it felt like a carp at first because it was kind of pulling and then it would stop and pulling and it would stop, and then it actually jumped out of the water and I saw it and I was like, oh my God. So that was a lot of fun. And then the second fish, the one I just caught, like I've caught a bunch since that first one, but this one's bigger than my first one that I was just talking about. This one was about it was like 8 pounds, like 8.12 pounds, and
there's some big fish in there.
That is a big fish, dude.
Yeah, that was a nice one, and that's my biggest of the year. I caught that one actually first cast on a new swim bait. It's just a Jackal Gantrell. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but
we know the
amazing lures. Yeah. I was throwing it out there just kind of slow reeling it in, and all of a sudden I had like 2 or 3 males just kind of following it, and I heard a noise and I looked over to my left. I looked back and this huge female is just like coming up to it, and she kind of looked at it and she almost looked like she was going to leave, but then I twitched my rod and I basically made the lure do a 180 and turn around and look at her.
Yeah, you pissed her off.
Yeah, so that's what it just caused her to be like, all right, I'm gonna eat you now. Yeah. So that's what happened there. That was pretty incredible.
That's awesome, man.
And that one, yeah, man, it was a lot of fun.
To that show. That's beautiful. That the water was clear enough to see what happened.
Yeah, where was that at?
Yeah, man. That water right now, I don't know what's going on there, but the water was like super clear because in most cases you wouldn't have seen that, you know?
Yeah.
And especially now because the algae's starting to grow and like they're done spawning and stuff, so they're not on their beds. So I just got lucky. I just got lucky and saw them, you know. But yeah, she was a beauty.
Where was that one caught at?
Oh, so that was caught in Simi Valley in my hometown. There's a small, it's a super pressured pond at a golf course, and it's like right when you drive by the street, you see the golf course there. And this place, I mean, if you went there, I don't know, say 20 times, you'd probably see someone catch something once.
Yeah. It's that pressure.
It's just that pressured. You know what I mean? So I just got right place, right time, right
lure. You totally got lucky on that one.
Yeah. Just for fun, I think I would like a golf ball lure. Just put a hook on a golf ball, just because that's what they see a lot. It's like and they're not even trying to buy it, just getting it out of the way. Get this golf ball out of here.
Just move this thing. No, that
man, there's so many golf balls that go in that pond. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them like knocked the bass out.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised either. I mean that bass is gorgeous. So I mean it's almost wall mounting worthy. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Oh yeah.
In that one picture, it almost looks like it's just like taxidermied, and it's just in your hand, like you're holding like hey, look at it.
It's like
that's what a couple of my friends said. Yeah.
Yeah. It almost looks like two.
It's like a glamour shot for the fish.
A glamour shot for fish. Is that
what
you just said?
You know what's funny?
What's that?
You know what's hilarious about that picture though is that the guy that took it, he for some reason he wasn't too thrilled that I caught it.
Oh man.
And that's why if you look at me in the picture, I'm just like, yep, just another day at the office. You know, I have that look to my, it's just like, whatever.
Could that be the reason why he was all upset? He's like, look at this guy. He's like,
no, not at all. He just took the picture when like I wasn't ready. He was just like, okay, I got it. I took like 5 of them. I was like, okay, cool. And then like he shows me, he took like 2 pictures, one of which was totally out of focus. So,
we
I had
understand.
that one picture, but I was like, I don't care.
We understand.
I was like, as long as I got the fish, that's what matters.
Yeah, exactly.
When Tommy and I are fishing together, and he catches a fish first, or just a catch in general,
usually happens
he's
that
like,
I catch a fish first.
"Hey, Paul, suck it!" Like he'll just tell me to suck it, and he'll like tell me, and he's like, "Take a photo."
That's
like,
true.
That's usual.
That's true. I do that. I'm like,
Or he'll
"Hey,
be
Paul,
like,
suck it." And I'm like,
something
But-
vulgar, just like
because you know what? A, that's me. B, that's usually how it happens. I usually catch a fish, and you're just running around with a camera because you can't catch a darn thing. You can't catch a cold.
Or he'll do like the hip pump. He'll
Yeah,
just be
I do the crotch chop.
Oh,
yeah.
there
He
you
does the
go,
crotch
there you
chop,
go.
and he's like, "Got one, Paul. You didn't." So but it's fun. You're fishing
man.
with your fishing buddy, you know. Like,
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, yeah, I mean, like, you know, I want to fish with you guys during all this stuff. Now we got to set
Oh yeah,
this
we
thing up, but
definitely.
we're usually a little tipsy, and there is a lot of
That's cool.
vulgar language and joking that goes around. A lot of pranks that usually happens too. So
we're on
oh
our
man,
best
that
behavior.
sounds
Let's not
like
scare
my
people.
group of friends right there.
like what was it that one time we went trout fishing with Danny, and we ended up tying this guy we fish with, good guy. His name's Danny, and he left. We were trout fishing, and he left to go to the restroom, and he left his rod in the rod holder. So we tied some fishing line to the rod holder, and like went like almost 9-10 feet away, and like wrapped the line around a tree, and came back and like sat down, and so. He came back, and as he's walking back, we're pulling on the line, and he's flipping out because he's looking. He's like, "I got one! He's like totally flipping out. He ended up tripping over the
Fish of a
line.
lifetime.
Yeah, dude. He ended up tripping over the line, and he looks at us, and he's like, "You guys are assholes!" Like, it
We're
was
not
so-
going to do that.
Oh,
Let's not
that's
scare
great,
people
man.
away.
Oh,
But
but
let's
that was
tell
fun. That
everybody
was
where
fun.
we can find Ovais Malik voiceover.
Yeah.
You have an Instagram page.
Go for it, man.
And a Facebook. So if people want to look at your photos and just be a fan of your work, let's tell everybody where to find you.
Yeah, they can check out what you do. Man.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So I have a website which is ovaismalik.com. That's OVAISMALIK.com. And then I also have my social media pages. My Instagram is at Ovais Malik VO, like voiceover.
Yeah.
So it's Ovais Malik VO. And then my Facebook page is also Ovais Malik VO. So they can find me. Basically, if they go to my website, I have the links to my social media on there, or they could just find me on the socials.
Nice.
Would it be okay for you to just say in your voiceover character, "Welcome to the Outsider Tackle Box Radio Show and Podcast"? Like, I just want to hear it. I've been waiting to ask you that the entire show. If we would have started that way, I'd have been so happy. I just want to hear it. Like, if it was going to be on TV. It makes me feel like I'm special.
So do you want like the trailer voice, or do you want like
Let's do
like,
trailer. Let's
'cause
do
there's
trailer
different-
voice.
okay, so wait, what is it? Welcome to the Outsider
Yeah.
Tackle Box.
Welcome to the Outsider Tackle
That's
Box Radio Show and Podcast. Like, just that. Anything that comes out, I just...
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the Outsider Tackle Box Radio and Podcast.
Yes.
That's
yes.
awesome.
I
That's
love
awesome.
it. Thank you very much.
So yeah, that's
I've been waiting the
of
whole
course.
show. I was just waiting to insert that into the conversation.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
When is the appropriate time
You should have
to
saw it.
say
You
that?
should have saw Ovais. He looked like a little girl. He was like, "Okay, is now a good time to ask?"
I saw the opening and I was like, I'm doing it.
Oh yeah, no, why not, man? No, you know, and the thing that's awesome about fishing, man, is all the cool people you meet. Like I think you guys are actually. I don't know if you're affiliated with him or not, but the Martinez Baits, that dude is like
Yeah.
an awesome guy, and he's like he made me some custom lures and stuff, and I haven't had a chance to use them yet, but I just love the community that fishing brings, how fishing people brings people together.
We
the
contacted
most
him
part.
because I think he was commenting on some of your stuff, but we did reach out to him.
I did recently reach out to him because I take care of all the baits and everything, and I reached out to him.
Okay.
We had a long conversation, and he is 110% on board. So you're going to be seeing some of the Martinez baits out in the boxes, and we'll be helping promote him and show off his stuff.
Yeah.
So
We
he's
ship all over the
working
United
on some
States.
stuff right now, and then he's going to send us
Yeah.
over, and we'll be working with him too. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. Because the stuff that he made, he customized lures for me to spec. I mean, from the designs to the having the rattles in them to what color eyes I wanted. I mean, everything.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and we're looking forward to working with him. I'm actually really excited. Really cool dude to talk to. Really cool dude. So he was a super nice guy from the time I first started. I reached out to him. He was very polite, very easygoing. There was no ego there. So really, really cool guy. Yeah.
So what are you working on right now, work-wise? So we want to. I'm curious.
He might not be able to tell us.
He might not be able to tell us. So you don't have to tell us. This is a fishing show.
So I mean, I could. Yeah. So I actually just wrapped up a movie. So it's on camera, not so much voiceover, but. I just had a part in a film that's going to be coming out here in I want to say the next month, and then
nice.
I can talk about that more specifically. But
Congratulations!
But yeah, I've done. Thank you. I mean, I do a lot of animation, video games, commercial, and trailers. So if you guys have played, games like like Dark Souls 3 or any of those types of games.
All into gaming.
Yeah,
I just watch. I try to play it. I'm terrible at it.
Paul's still trying to figure out Pong, to be completely honest.
I like playing them.
He's like, when I move the stick go up and the ball bounce. Oh my gosh, I can't figure it out.
I told my son that
too advanced.
It is too advanced.
That you do video games, and he was like, he started looking stuff up, and I was like, dude, let's just go on his stuff and listen to some of his that he already has up.
Yeah, see.
And so he's not here, but he was pretty excited. He's like, no way, Dad.
Yeah, see. Now he gets to hear. Now he gets to hear Ovais do it. He's like, one man, one mission.
Cool. Oh man.
Sorry, that was my stereotype. Stereotypical.
It cracks me up. The whole exactly. Like people hear me and they're like, "Oh, dude, you must do trailers." I'm like, "Yeah, I do, but that's not all I do."
No. Yeah, dude.
But no, the funny thing is, so I went into a Target fairly recently by my house, and this almost never happened. So this was really incredible on this guy's part. I was more impressed with him than anything, but. I was asking him a question about finding something in the store, and I was in the electronics section, and he's like, hey, do you do voiceover? And I was like, yeah, why? He's like, are you in this game? And he actually pointed out a game that I was in.
No way.
And I was like, yeah, dude. And I was like, wow, that's really, like I said, I never had that happen. So I was super surprised, but he was like so excited. I think he was more excited than me.
That's like me right now trying to get you our voice.
That's like Paul right now.
Just do me an intro. Just do me an intro.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I was like so impressed because I was like, wow, from all the different things you hear and to be able to pick that up. I mean, it's just really impressive, and I was like, wow, that was like the first and only time that's happened to me so far. So.
That's awesome, though, that he was able to, turn around and point at a game and be like, that you?
I know,
you in there?
Because just to
absolutely.
recognize a voice from, if you play it that much, and then all of a sudden you hear it, and you're like, this has got to be him.
It takes you back. It's almost that, like, nostalgia feel where it, like, takes you back in time for that moment, and he's, like, mentally picturing himself playing that game, and he's like, I hear that voice.
Yeah. As soon as he found out, he was like, "Man, I'm gonna go home," and he's like, "I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna find," because he was asking me. He's like, "I can't remember exactly which character." I was like, "Well, why don't you play the game again? Try and find out, and let me know next time you see me." And he did. He was able to do that.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Ovais, we're actually looking forward to meeting up with you and doing some fishing. I mean, I'm.
We do the radio show and podcast Saturday mornings, but after that we're free. I mean, we both have
we got
kids
the
and stuff or
family
whatever,
thing
but
going on, but we'll
we
make
try
time.
to fish after either Saturday afternoons, but in morning fishing we do like Sunday mornings. We try to do that. So
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk offline about when it is you fish.
Yeah.
And if you're doing something, we can maybe head that way.
We'll
it
have
takes
some fun.
about a 40-minute drive. But from all of us, come back on the show anytime, and we'll talk.
You are always welcome, sir.
I'm surprised we haven't had you on more, but we're still growing, and so it's just Tommy and I kind of bootstrapping this thing, and so we get kind of caught up and don't always get to get out in the water. But I am so happy that you've been on the show today, and we're definitely gonna have you back on more, just because.
Anytime, dude. Anytime.
Maybe.
I like talking to Ovais. He's a chill
I'm gonna
dude.
find
like
out
he's
how
one
to-
of those
yeah.
guys. See, and Ovais, correct me if I'm wrong, but I doubt I am, because I never am. You just seem like one of those dudes that like I could sit back, have a beer with, talk some fishing, just have some fun, and just hang out, man.
But like for 10 seconds of that fun that you're having with Ovais, I'm gonna record an intro, and like we're just gonna use it.
No, you're not. We're just gonna hang out and
He's
have a
gonna
good time.
say-
You and I are gonna have a conversation, and then he's just gonna hit like record and ask me to say
Like
something.
a creeper in the corner.
I'd be like, no,
Yeah.
Ovais, seriously,
Exactly.
you need to say welcome to the Outsider Tackle Box radio show, and like the trailer. That's gonna be our trailer.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sneak it in. It's just a sneak in.
It's gonna be so like raw that you're gonna have in the background. Just say it. Just say it.
No. Here's what it is. 'Cause
No edit, nothing.
No edit. He's like, just say it.
You'll hear like a fart in the background before it starts,
Yeah.
and it's like totally,
He's like,
I do
just say it for. What's
I
going
do this
on?
to my buddy who works for a big digital marketing company, and I ask him questions. I'll just call him, and I've done it a few times, and the last time he's like, "You always ask me like I don't really want to give you free advice because I give you all this info that I charge people for, and like you always seem to get it from me for free." And so, like, that's what I'm doing with Ovais. Like, we'll just casually be talking about, like, whatever, and I'm like, dude, you gotta do me the intro. And I'll press record secretly.
Ignore everything that this moron next to me has said. I personally would just like to hang out and have a good time and fish and drink and have a great time with you, bud.
Well, I appreciate that, guys. Like, I definitely had a blast being on your show, and I'm surprised I didn't come on earlier, but hey, we got the ball rolling now, and
and you're welcome
definitely
back
appreciate
anytime,
you guys
man.
taking. Yeah, thank you guys. We'll have to do it again, and like I said, one of these days we got to get out there and get our lines wet and see if we can all catch some fish.
I completely
we'll
agree.
definitely do that.
Paul won't be able to because Paul can't fish. But
Oh, stop it. Well, from all of us here at Outsider Tackle Box Radio Show and Podcast, fish more, tight lines.
tight lines, buddy. Have a great one.
time.
All
Thanks,
right, tight
Ovais.
lines, guys. Take
All
care.
right, take care, bud.
Bye-bye.
Bye.